in this example, ladies and gentlemen, what I obviously, when I see this cosecant squared minus 1, I automatically start thinking, all right, I'm probably going to have to use a Pythagorean identity, right? And from the start, I told you guys, you have to know these identities because the exact same thing. You guys can use them as a reference. You can use the reference sheet I gave you. You can use, page 354, whatever you guys need as you're doing this work. But when it comes to test day, we're not going to have your availability with these. So you got to make sure you're practicing using these identities and also have a known value for them. So once I see this cosecant squared of t minus 1, I would think, all right, what is that Pythagorean identity that relates to cosecant squared of t? And I remember that 1 plus cotangent squared of t equals cosecant squared of t. Now, how they simply got cosecant squared of t minus 1 is they just subtracted 1. So therefore, this is cosecant squared of t equals cosecant squared of t minus 1. All right. Now, I'm not simply just going to want to go ahead and rewrite this as cotangent right now. I'm going to kind of, I see that, I can go ahead and write this down as cotangent. If I go and work this, then I have cosine of t times cotangent squared of t. Now remember, cotangent is going to be cosine cubed divided by sine, right? So therefore, this would be cosine of t times cosine squared of t divided by sine of t.
Wait, which side are you?
I'm working on the right side.
What did you do with the 1?
I rewrote cosecant squared of t minus 1 as cotangent squared of t, because that's the Pythagorean identity.
Oh.
So when I look at this, and again, I'm trying to get this cotangent. Well, I can multiply this across, and that's going to give me cosine cubed divided by sine. But I'm not really getting anything on this right side that's really going to be looking anything like the left side. So there's a couple different ways that I could go about this. But maybe I'll just say I don't know what to do from here next. So what I'll do with this one is let's just scrap it. Let's work on the other side. Maybe I didn't see exactly what I was looking for in here. If I want to get to this, I could say, well, all right, what would I need to multiply this left side by? So let's go ahead. Oh, let me rewrite that. That is cosecant squared of t minus 1 equals cotangent squared. All right, still need to know that.
Mr. McLogan,
Yes.
can I have Will real, please? to
Sure.
check out?
OK.
Thank you.
And make sure, Will, both sides of those, that's going to be your homework on there. So if I was going to look at this, I say, well, let me go and work maybe on the left side, then the right side. And I can maybe try to see if I can simplify this, because that's rational and that's not. So if I was going to rewrite this as rational, I could rewrite this as, instead of cotangent cubed of t divided by cosecant, I can rewrite that as 1 over cosecant of t times cotangent cubed of t. Yes?
What if you did cotangent cube t and then you did one, like the 1 plus cotangent squared?
Well, I'm going to break that up. I'm going to break that up, and I'll show you.
That way too.
Yeah, I'll show you what exactly I'm going to do here in a second. So now, if you guys look at this, so now I can rewrite 1 over cosecant of t. That equals what? Sine of t. Sine of t times cotangent cubed of t. All right? Now, let me go ahead and rewrite this. Let's rewrite cotangent as the quotient identity. So therefore, it'd be sine of t times cosine cubed of t divided by sine cubed of t.
Wouldn't it be just sine of t because you already have the t's on the top?
No, they're both of them.
But for when we did that up there, you left, like when we had cosine of t times cosine squared of t over sine of t, you just left it where sine just, does that make sense?
No, I'd have to go and look at what I wrote down. But this, if you have cosine, or let's see, tangent squared, we know that tangent, right, of x, let's just call x, tangent is sine of x over cosine of x, right? Tangent squared of x is equal to sine squared of x divided by cosine squared of x.
Okay, but you had cotangent squared.
I might have miswrote it. I'll go and look at that, and I'll go and see if what I did. I don't remember, but just remember, if it's squared, then your ratio is going to be squared as well. So now, by looking at that, you guys can see that I actually can use my division property here. And now I can say, all right, I can divide out a sine, right? And therefore, now, so what I have is, if you were to kind of write this out, I have cosine cubed is cosine of t times cosine of t times cosine of t divided by sine of t times sine of t. I'm breaking them out, so what you guys can see is, well, if I can now group these together, so you don't have to break them out, but the reason why I'm breaking them out is you guys can see, all right, that represents what? Cosine over sine is cotangent. And then that represents what? That, cotangent. So that's cotangent times cotangent, which is cotangent squared times cosine. So therefore, I have cosine of t times cotangent squared of t. But then remember, cotangent squared of t equals cosecant squared of t minus 1. So therefore, it's cosine of t times cosecant squared of t minus 1. And that now equals the right side. OK? So you didn't have, I showed you guys how I could start on the right side. But you probably could have kept on going. And there's probably more algebraic things I could have done. But I immediately saw this and I said, you know what? I don't really like where this is going. I'm not seeing anything. So I just scrapped it and I just went to the other side. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's going to happen on a lot of these problems. All right? But you have to be willing to say, I'm trying something. I'm not getting an answer. So I'm going to go ahead and try something else. OK? That's it. Yeah, now the left side looks like the right side. So it's been verified.